Das ist die letzten Spiele, ne? Bis 2011 hat er gemacht.
Mhm. Hello? Where am I? What is this? Where did this island come from? How do I get out of here? Hello? Is anyone here? Is that a person? How lovely! It's been a long time since I talked to anyone. What's wrong? You look lost. I'm completely out of ideas. When I try to create, I feel empty. I have nothing left to give to my work. Oh no. What's happened? Did something change? There was a machine that kept me going and it stopped. I'm trying to find this engine that used to protect me, to start it again. Wait, you're looking for a machine? I think I know where it is. It isn't far. What? You have to take me to it. I need to see it. I know why it stopped. I can do that, but there's a problem. It's guarded by the trivial puzzle.
This one turns it up to 11.
If you can help me solve the puzzle, we'll find the machine.
Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even. And yet, still, he keeps making games. He keeps throwing himself into the grinder even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore. Why? What is it for?
Um vielleicht Sachen zu verarbeiten.
Doesn't matter what I say, does it? We're going to end up here one way or the other, right? Und ich sag nur Deal. Das ist auch eine Antwort. Perfect. Come along, I'll show it to you.
Because from my perspective at the time and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. He was in his own little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet, and so he didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on.
First you have to close the door. First you have to open the door. First you press the switch on the inside.
First you have to open the door.
Okay, now what? Now you have to close the door. Now you have to open the first, okay. Alright, we're back outside. Oh, you have to open the door? You have to close the first door?
And then you have to press the button on the inside.
Alright, what's next? Now just close the first door. Now now press the switch here. Ha! That was so simple. I can't believe I never solved it before this.
It doesn't work that way. You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. Then there's no circulation. If all of your anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash.
Hello? Hey, I recognize this. Hello, is anyone here? Okay, here we are. What are you talking about? There's no machine here. These are just words and some walls.
What are you talking about?
Hörst du das im Hintergrund?
Hmm.
You have to say that your work is fun and easy. You have to say that game development is simple and joyous and that you love it 100% of the time. Okay, games simple.
But it wasn't true.
Don't worry about it, just keep talking. Keep saying that creation is easy. When I make games I feel completely energized. I'm constantly excited and enthusiastic about my work. It is easy, it never stops being easy. Yeah, that's wonderful. Keep going.
Seeing this game at the time that he made it, it looked really unhealthy to me. I was watching him do this to himself, and I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped. It's like, video games are not worth this amount of suffering. This is someone I really cared about, and I used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me.
Yes, more. Keep
I don't
going.
know. This is what I felt at the time. I don't know how else to explain it. I wanted it to stop more than anything. I had never felt so rotten. I needed more than I had ever needed anything for this to stop. But it
Ist das
didn't
Coda
stop.
gewesen?
After finishing this one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
Ich finde es krass, wie die Abstände immer größer werden.
Und auch immer dramatischer. The Machine. Ma'am, glad to see you've arrived safely. We've captured the machine, it's waiting for you. You can begin the interrogation whenever you like. Quite. Very good. Just be warned that someone called the press, so you might have a bit of intention on this one. Also, one more thing that you should know about this machine. It calls himself Coda. Coda itself.
Vielleicht ist das eine Metapher für sein Gewöhnen.
And of course,
You
it's
stop.
the machine.
You stopped feeding us. Your work was keeping us alive. Your work was keeping us healthy. Those people out there, can you imagine what pain you put them through? It was only because of your creations that any of us could make it through every day. How could we possibly go back to trusting you to do this job? So here's what needs to happen. You need to go to the people who are out there and apologize to them. You have to admit to the people that you allowed them to suffer. I've been so alone. Apologize for leaving me. Sein eigenes Gewissen zu konfrontieren funktioniert meistens nicht. No? Nothing? Think carefully, I know how to hurt you. I've seen the thing you fear. Er stellt sich selbst unter Druck, glaube ich.
Mhm.
Weil er nicht mehr kreativ ist und... Alright then, I will apologize to the people on your behalf.
Ich würde nicht sagen, weil ich nicht mehr kreativ bin, sondern weil er keinen Spaß mehr daran hat, was zu machen.
Ja.
Das ist der Burnout.
My followers, my friends. It falls me on to deliver bad news. I have a troubled revelation. The machine will not apologize to us. The machine refuses to admit that it deliberately hurt us. But this is not important. We are stronger than it thinks we are. We will find a way to live without it. We don't need its games. Let us pay it retribution. Let us show that we are not failures. Follow me, we will destroy the machine. Follow me, we will destroy everything that the machine has created.
Follow me, we will destroy everything that the machine has created.
Seine eigenen Sachen zerstören.
Er löscht sie halt im Endeffekt.
Um zu versuchen...
Zu vergessen.
Ja.
So now the work is becoming self-destructive. And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his games. It might get him out of isolation. And so, as I'm thinking this, I realize that I could be the one to initiate it. Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for it? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in himself? Would it bring meaning back into his work?
Ich möchte es vergessen. Aber Davy möchte nicht, dass er vergisst. Davy möchte ihm zeigen, dass es auch einen anderen Weg gibt.
So I started showing Coda's work to people. I took this one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games. You know, the point of it all was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
Put down your weapon.
Can you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do? Because it's the thing that I always feel like I need. To be told that my work is good. That I am good.
No.
When someone really connects with the thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something... I really felt like I'd done something good. Like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem. When they told me how much they enjoyed his games, it was the best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy. So beautifully, beautifully happy. So anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while. So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made. So let's take a look. And this is where I have trouble saying anything meaningful about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, the tower just feels distant. It feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world. It's a very cold game.